executes are almost, I'd say, the most important
Essential.
thing. Yeah, they are essential, but they're probably the most important thing on your offense because you can't easily break through B or A by doing set piece, by doing contact plays or just like rushes all the time. Executes are very very important when it comes to bind.
Now, you're going to go for that countdown before the first round truly begins. What is the buy here? So there's Rafi with the standard setup. You get yourself a nice little light shield into the full utility of the raise. That's going to allow you to clear out the corners, which is actually very powerful because a lot of people do think that they're going to be able to shut down the Roomba, the Boombot. But when the enemy team is also pushing, that thing be charging, and you can't do nothing about it because you're dealing with like human opponents before you take that one down. 7 seconds onto the clock, and I believe it is going to be Atlas that will be on the attacking side here. So let's see how they plan to do, as they are going to be looking to go for that A. It's going to be the contact first, but Cypher will at least have that camera as well as the recon dart outside of shower. Beautiful. Oh, not yet done, as Tim still gets the kill, and 6 misses everything, although he does soften up the rest of the Atlas roster. But this is still a full 5 for Atlas that somebody can get healed, and Tim decides to heal himself back up. Kaja will be spotted coming in from the backside, but once he breaks the wall, they will know that he will be coming from there. Shido does get the one onto Bry, and here they come from short. So it's going to be the post plant for for Atlas.
And they're going to have to do well here if they want to break through these crossfires. Rafi finding one. Yoshi in the smoke finds him in response, though. Tapping away with that right click, and he's not done just yet. He finds one. Oh, that recon dart does not land, but it's fine. Dre bails him out, and it's the Yoshi-Dre combination again to bail their team out and bring us into a 1-0.
Man, I really like the idea from Anbu Elite there to get that double information, but what happened with the information that they got? I think Six got overwhelmed a little bit. I'm not sure where his utility was, but again, gotta take note, guys. 1.11, if the Cypher dies, utility also gets deactivated. So if you die as a Cypher, every control that you had on your site with your abilities, zip, whammo, it's gone. So you really have to be careful. And 6, he was not successful in being able to take down his opponent, so that's going to force AEG to go for a weaker bind in this one. Now, Atlas, if they know their opponents, if they know bind, they should have a feeling that this hookah double cross or crossfire is definitely set up by Kaja as well as Tony Banks. And if they try to go through this, it's basically the mid grinder, Illustrato.
I actually really like this setup. It's a risky play to play 3 hookah like this, but chances are you'll catch one, at least one, sometimes 2. And we've seen this work to up to like a whole team before, So it's always a worth it of a gamble right there, especially because you'll usually hear people on B long if you do that, if you do go towards B anyway. Rarely will you ever see anybody walk up into B. Just by straight up walking into it. So it's a good play right here, but 6 just not able to land it as Dre and Tim, they do the cleanup towards A, and that's pretty much the round in the bag. That's another anti-eco. We could be expecting a flawless round here.
Could definitely be a flawless round. Nobody got really heavily tagged, but it seems like Shidope and Tony Banks will be able to spot out Dre as he was pushing through the spawn of AEG. This turns into a slightly more doable situation because they do now have, of course, Tony Banks' abilities. He will be able to spot out maybe a few here as Clyde coming in from the corner spots out with that tiny little pixel angle. Okay, did Tim really intentionally do that? That is fantastic. And now this is going to be only the one to remain, and that is going to be another clean round for Atlas, the 2-0, with Anbu kind of scratching their heads. They knew the crossfire was coming, and Atlas just cleaned it up perfectly.
Lovely stuff right there. It was a beautiful round. They lost. It wasn't perfect. They lost a couple of members, but in the end, they made a good read. They made a good execution, and you can see really the synergy with like Atlas, man. Like they know how to entry together, and they have to get the kills together so that there's very little chance of getting those trades. I mean, I know that's difficult to, in theory, execute and at the same time practice, but they somehow get it. They somehow are able to always get these kills off at the start of the round with barely getting traded. And even when they do get traded, they still win the trades in their favor. So it's really a matter of Atlas just being a solid unit here, despite the fact that it doesn't feel like they have a lot of a game plan in terms of tactics, in terms of execution. As long as they're all on the same page, they can make things work.
They're creating a nice little bait play there. So if you saw in the minimap, I believe it was Yoshi that used his owl drones to kind of bait that there might be some people coming outside of hookah, but immediately after like 10 or so seconds, they just rush in. There's going to be this nice little bounce around, and will that get a kill onto one? No, not even going to be close enough, as that will allow Atlas to plant the spike, get the 5-man still rolling, and even position themselves for the post-plant. Now, Shida will be using his ultimate to flush out U-Haul, but it's not going to be enough because everybody else is onto the short area, and they're coming outside of showers. They got to be wary about this big little flank that Atlas are going to be starting to work with, but somebody has to start to defuse.
That's a nice kill to find right there towards short. They're not done. Oh, Rafi with a double. Has to peek out right there, and Yoshi's there to deny him. There's one player left standing, and that's Rafi, and I don't think he's long for this world at all. It's going to be it, 2-0. So pardon us for that little bit of a delay. Rafi does go down in the end, and that's going to be 3-0 right now. Atlas wins the gun round, and it had to be Yoshi again to win the round for his team. Amazing stuff.
That wallbang, though, was great, but it was all too over. Like, I really like the utility there from Anbu Elite. They knew that they needed to be able to flush out the corners, and that's what's perfect about the Brimstone. If you have your orbital strike and your molly still up, it just kind of makes it easier for the retake, which it did. But again, like I said, Atlas had enough time to play for that post plant, and not all of them were stacked on short. Two of them was able to rotate onto the shower area and basically make a pincer, which was fan-freaking-tastic for Atlas here. Now, AEG, they will still have some money to buy up, as you see Kaja now on the operator. If somebody can shut him down, if somebody can be shut down by this man, well, Kaja's going to be able to just get that value. But oh my goodness, the through the tube banging from Tim, fantastic.
And, you know, not a lot. It's going to be a difficult round to, you know, go for because of the fact that it is a 3v5 retake. They do have an op. You know, I dare say that maybe better to just save this, and that's going to be a Blast X flawless round from Playzilla. Perfectly done. Great round. Also a Prime Gaming flawless. Amazing stuff right then from them. And you know, round after round, they're just showing us why Atlas is a force to be reckoned with right now. They're really dealing, you know, with anything that Anbu is throwing their way.
So is Anbu gonna go for a force onto B-Long? Because if they get the orb, I think Kaja should have his Blaze Storm up. That's why we're seeing kind of like a twofer here coming out. I think he was able to get it, but he's getting hunted down immediately here by Dre, who wants blood. He wants to be able to get that one up against Kaja, who was kind of like bullying him in the previous map. Although they will back away, they should know that AEG are not up to full potential yet, and Kaja is kind of tethered onto the B site. Immediately, though, you do see Atlas just go in for the rotate, and they have been kind of doing this a lot more, making Anbu second guess where their opponents are. And this is perfect because they are forcing Anbu to use the smokes. And because Anbu have a Brimstone compared to the Omen, they will be only locked to 3 smokes that they can use to retake and stop the push of opponents, which is not good when you're up against a team that forces you to keep using your abilities.
Yeah, and that's the spike down. It's retake after retake because, you know, spikes have been going down, like, I think every single round here.
Yeah.
And I don't imagine that it's a good sign for a team like AEG when they don't really have that much to get, you know, to keep that map control that they have. But Showstopper now coming in, looking to find one, still hasn't had the opportunity. Not even going to do any damage, but Rafi checking that corner. He does get the 1 kill right there. Now he has to find a little bit more. There's 1 player left, and that's going to be Dre. What have you got right now? He finds almost the kill onto Kaja. There's a lot of damage, but it's, in the end, going to be finally a round on the board here for AEG.
My, oh my. Yeah, that was definitely a Prime Gaming flawless by AEG, able to utilize Rafi's rocket power, or sorry, showstopper, to just flush everybody out of position. They feared it because there were so many tight angles that could have resulted in a multi-kill for this ultimate. So really, really fantastic for Rafi to not push out his showstopper yet. He had the full duration of it just to make sure that his opponents will not get that nice little positioning that they wanted. And now at least AEG has one on the board. Shido knows that they're going to be popping out of hookah here. I mean, let's see if they're going to commit to the B side. They're just charging right in. There's going to be one in the backside, but he hasn't really gotten the position that he wanted to. It's going to be the trade as Rafi just comes out and gets obliterated by Yoshi. Here comes the post plan and the retake for AEG, though.
That's a tough retake to ask here, especially after they lose that kill. Now, Dre going down, so that's a little bit of a sign of hope right now as Rez is looking imminent here. Will bring things a little bit forward in terms of Atlas, but spraying through the wall. They have to go huge here, and 6 has found 4. He has to find another, but he gets denied by Yoshi. And Atlas, they hang on yet again, resetting the economy of Anbu. What a heroic effort right there by 6. But Yoshi, in the end, snatches it one after the other, time and time again. It's Yoshi to snatch things away from Anbu Elite Gaming.
There still should be some money for Anbu to buy up here. That's kind of the thing, right? If you have a utter consecutive rounds of losses, 3 to 4, you will get max loss bonus, as well as even if you win and then lose, you still should have some money to work with. And look at this, Rafi. It's a nice little instant replay there, but Yoshi comes out, peeks him up. That's going to be the knockout. It's a really good clutch for Atlas here, and definitely showing to us that they got bind in their sights. It's not only Anbu that can make bind their own, and that puts Anbu in a, pun intended, guys, in a bit of a bind.
Yeah, well, in a bit of a bind is an understatement here, because that was the best of their economy just down the drain. Now, look, they can still afford to scrape one together, and they could actually go for a glass cannon off if they wanted to, but I don't think that's advisable here. The way that, Anbu won that round in that flawless, that secured them one more bye. But you have to remember, guys, that they cannot lose this round again, or they will be reset very, very hard here. And
Take flight.
Atlas, they're just really running all over the place and just making amazing progress happening. Shutting down that bathroom play, it's also huge. It gains them so much control towards that A site.
They're just going to charge right in, and here we go. Oh, it's going to be the battle of the Hunter's Fury. Who will get the one-up? It seems like it's going to be Tony Banks. He hunts the Hunter, and the Hunter becomes the hunted as Shido comes out, and Ultimate's beak came out like a flurry. One left standing. It's going to be the 2 versus 1, 3 versus 1, actually. And is it going to be possible? Can Bride do it? He has the lineup. He has an opportunity, but it will get denied. Slam shut by Shido as Anbu Elite Gaming claim round 2.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity and a good try. But in the end, Anbu Elite, they bite back as well. And they also reset the economy of Atlas. Now look at this. Dre doesn't have any money to work with. Yoshi, not a lot either. Bry as well. And this might be an equal round that they could be facing here. But it looks like they're going to be forcing off the back of it, as Dre will be looking to pick up on that Spectre. Maybe still considering it. Sheriff is in play as well. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do with this. And it's always a chance that they could win. I don't favor the odds, but it's still possible.
Ooh. Okay, so here's one of the things that you kind of notice from these teams is that they would like to use either the wall or the smoke to get control on B-Long. It's not only to get that that map control for bind, it's also for them to get the orb, which a lot of people say that is pretty meh, right? But when you have somebody like with the Hunter's Fury and the Orbital Strike, that meh turns into a and then turns into something really good. But now, speaking of really good, it's going to be a Tim with the catch-up onto 6. And if Clyde does go down, we'll be able to heal him back out. Spike will get planted, and here comes the flank from Kaja, sneaking his way through the short.
But there's also a flank here by Yoshi coming in. Look at that, all the way from CT. They're actually going to be caught off guard here. He could come up huge if he gets spotted out here. Look at this amazing flank potential right now. He's worked all the way from B. See what he can find. Kaja finds one. Shido finds another. But from the back, Yoshi chimes in with 2. That's 3 kills from Yoshi. That's the flank we were talking about. Looking for the 4th. Recon bolt out. Doesn't matter. Yoshi yet again will clutch for his team. Well, it's not a clutch entirely, but what an amazing flank. The God flank by Yoshi. Every single round he steps up to the plate and he does this time and time again. That was a 4K.
Now, I don't know if our viewers have watched this, but there was a really nasty clip. I think that was the triple overtime that we saw with Atlas, and I think the match was against Nefarious, where Yoshi got an incredible 4K to clutch and win the entire best of 1 there. And he's just showing that, again, he is such a versatile player that even though he is on such a slower agent like this, it's still not going to matter. Kaja, the most unfortunate turn of events, he could not get through the flurry of bullets as well as his opponent there. Rafi almost taking the head of his Tim, but also deals some substantial damage. Now, Neural Theft will also be used, but look at Dre. He didn't even have a chance there. He just came out of shower and shot the man down. And this, Lestrado, this is just turning out of hand here for AEG.
Yeah, it's just really going their way. Dre is going to get that Vandal dropped for him right now. And Atlas, man, they're doing so well. They're reading Anbu Elite Gaming every single round. And oh my god, dude. See, Yoshi and Dre, this combination right here, and this is what I want to point out. It's beautiful. Yoshi and Dre, they dissect whatever defense comes their way, whether it's a retake, whether whether it is a hold on a defense. They just sort of take the defense apart piece by piece, and after that, like, Tim's right there to help them out. If they make a misstep, Tim will come and help. After they make a misstep, maybe Bryce there to chime in. But really, it's this crux, it's this core. Yoshi and Dre, they just sort of make the pieces move for them and break down anything that stands in their way.
Oh no, he's still spotted. Is Yoshi going to be able to find a hunted one here? I don't think he's going to be able to connect the shot. At least they do get up harm's way, but this allows a little bit of that map control here, though. Shido shutting down Bry as he comes out of B-Long. This is a breath here for AEG, but they still have a little bit more to try to shut it down. Kaja wanting to go for that nice little dash or floating hop on top of the area. Not going to be able to do so, but it seems like Anbu are able to find their footing finally in this first half as they are going to relegate Atlas for Tim to try to go for the clutch. But if you know that somebody can pop out of nowhere, it is Tim from Atlas.
Yeah. He's been known to pop off right here, but it might be too much in a 1v5, and this off is not going to miss. Kaja will take that opportunity and drop the last remaining member of Atlas here. 7-3 scoreline right now, and things are looking a little bit better for Anbu Elite Gaming, but they're definitely not out of the woods just yet. There's still a few rounds that separates them, and we're getting closer and closer to halftime. They're going to have to pick up, I think, maybe one more round if they want to make this a viable win.
It's 2 rounds before the first half ends. This is a possibility. And honestly, AEG, they can definitely hope for a 7-5, and that is much workable when they come into the attacking side, which I feel like they're going to be able to really explode and show us their true colors. For the moment, there is going to be the use on, who was it? I think it was Dre that activated his own blades. Yeah, he is down to 16 HP, and it's a lockdown onto the B side. Yoshi and Bry do get the 2, but Tony Bank still in it. Clyde able to transition into the back of sight, and that is going to be allowing Atlas to clear it up and claim B.
Spike planted.
Are you really going to want to push through that smoke? 6 looks like not, and Clyde holds an angle.
Yeah, but they do have to they do have to push in with an AWP, and that's not always the easiest thing to do. So maybe it'll help them clear out B-Long, but they got to check this corner right here. Clyde D could get 1. No, he gets checked, and that was a golden opportunity for Clyde. But it's going to be 6 here, going for that defuse. Will they be able to find the last remaining player? Yoshi gets spotted out right here. He still has the recon. He still has the shock dart, but it's not going to matter. In the end, the 6 cleans it up for his team. And that's one more round on the board for Anbu Elite Gaming. They've got 4 rounds now for them. It's an 8-4 scoreline. So it could be an 8-4 scoreline going into the half.
That shock, or rather that recon dart from Yoshi, really giving away the position of where he was going to be coming from. All eyes were actually looking on B long. So maybe a fake, or maybe a silent maneuver outside of Hookah might have been the better option, but at least he did try to go for a 2v1, was not successful, and that does allow Anbu Elite to claim that 7-4, and they do actually have a good set of utility here, or rather weaponry, as they are going to be playing with the double operator. Kaja's getting wall bang out of his own mind, but Kaja still connects onto Dre. They thought they're not going to be able to sneak their way onto mid, onto Hookah. Guess what? Kaja is there, and Rafi as well, all across the map, get these sniper kills in tow, and Atlas shut down, relegated to the 3-5. 3 versus 5.
It might be a 7-5 right now, but it's not done because Tim, Yoshi, and Clyde, they're still in the picture. And, you know, they have been really good thus far. It's just a matter of what they can do. Tim has a res right now, so he's definitely going to go and res Dre. I'd be surprised if he res Bry at the moment, but this round, it has been brought back right now. Look at the ultimate status right there. They have just used their res. No one else has an ulti available except for Rafi. Oh, and Tony Banks does have it, but in the defensive side, we'll save that for later. But I do think that this is a very doable round for the side of Atlas right now. They're deciding to go towards 8. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. It does make a nice connection. Can he find a kill? Yes, he does! Onto Tim! And that's beautifully placed right there.
30 seconds left.
Oh, and that's information gained with that beautiful... oh my god, the Showstopper also getting one more. Almost though, but just doesn't in the end. Paint Shell now coming out here, and it's a tough retake. 14 seconds left. The spike is not even planted, and Yoshi, I don't think he's going to get even close to doing this. Kaja takes him down from the side. And that's going to be an 8-4 scoreline. Well, sorry, 7-5 scoreline. Well played right there for Anbu. And that's a prime gaming flawless right there. Well played for Anbu Elite Gaming.
It took them a while, Illustrato, but it seems like they finally figured out how to lock down the defending side. Well, at least now they have to figure out how they're going to be playing on the attacking here. Let's see real quick what utilities they are going to get. Again, pretty standard for Rafi as well as everybody else. They actually are all going to be playing on the Classic, so it's all utility. This would mean that Atlas better be prepared because there's going to be a lot of smokes and explosives being thrown out. And with them not having light shields, these ghosts have to hit their mark or else they are going to get, like I said, overwhelmed by AEG.
And like we said, you know, they have that Brimstone. So for me, this must be a game where they're going to be relying on set pieces and set plays. And I think that's really where it's going to be coming in handy, right? Because in Bind, I said earlier, this is the kind of map where executes really shine. And if we want to see a team be successful on it, you have to know how to do that. And I think that that's what Anbu Elite Gaming is for, is going for. I mean, Trix mentioned it on panel earlier on, and she said, you know, Anbu Elite, they have the advantage when it comes to set plays, to pieces like this. But whether they can make it work, whether they can use these executes to their advantage, that's yet to be seen.
Oh, this is going to be something. Dre's onto the corner, and immediately the rotation comes in, but 5 Peaks, or rather, Anbu Elite Gaming know what was up. Dre is going to try to run away, but he was caught out into the open, and that was AEG waiting for that moment to actually come to fruition, and it does. It's going to be the 5-3 with Atlas all coming in from their own spawn. This might not be easy because Rafi comes out, spots out Tim, and only forces Atlas to deal with this coming only from 1 point of attack.
And that is a retake that is going to be very, very difficult here, especially after Yoshi gets absolutely wrecked right now. Clyde left, 19 HP, has Paranoia, has to push onto the side, but he might be greeted by an array of enemies, everybody peeking him. He's found 3 kills, but it's not going to be finding any more than that. 2 players still on the other side standing. That's going to be 1 round on the board here. 7-6, AG so close to leveling the playing field yet again.
Really smart, and that was also one of the things that we talked about, right? Anbu Elite, they got set strategies, and these set strategies allow them to flush these corners without putting them in harm's way. Big example of that was the one in Hookah, where they used all of the nades of Rafi. They could have used it for the back of the site, but they were confident that if they get control of Hookah, B was theirs, and it truly was, especially when both, what was it, Dre and Brian was hoping to maybe get the double cross or this crossfire there. It did not work in their favor. They know that Dre is in the corner here, and he buys it up. They're going to try to go for this aggressive play, but it's not going to work out as Rafi is on point with his shots on that Vandal, as well as the help from Kaja. They're going to rotate to the A side, and who is going to be there to welcome them? Actually, nobody. And Dre comes out. Hello. Oh! Not going to be the win, though.
No way. Long range like that with a bucket. There's only a few people that can make that happen. And you hate to see it. Like, when that happens to you, you're just like, are you kidding me right now? But I do want to point out, Rafi, he's been on fire, on point with this race today. Like, he's barely missing anything, and he's getting so much information with his utility. He's just been so good with it, and this is one of the reasons why we like to see Rays on maps like, you know, Bind.
Yeah.
I like to see Rays on Split. It's so amazing to see. And Rafi's doing well, not just in terms of getting information, but also with the aim and everything right there. Dre's left alone in this 1v3 right now. It's going to be a difficult task. See if they can do it, but I don't think he's got much, especially with just the Spectre at long range, running very, very low. We'll tap the spike just to maybe force them to come back, but no one's really going to be biting that. It's the end of the round for sure.
And it's better for him to, again, just die because he doesn't want to go into the next round with only additional 1,000 creds. You always want to get the boss bonus, the lost bonus.
The boss bonus.
I don't know why.
That's when your boss advances you money.
But you loan us,
yeah.
So you lose the bonus. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so that's going to at least stabilize the rounds here. Anbu Elite have clawed their way 7-7. It wasn't really a big gap from Atlas, but it was a gap that they were willing to work with. But they really lose that quickly as their pistol setup was red. They should have really respected that the Raze is going to be utilized to flush out these corners, and they've been doing this time and time again. So you can see right now that Atlas are playing with a much safer setup here that doesn't allow the Rays to get that much impact. It's going to be the far back position on all sides except for the center, which is on short, which could really work in their favor, but Clyde does get taken down by 6.
And that's the aggression punished right there by 6. You know, I like the idea from Clyde, and they actually had some backup available. Just getting a little bit too carried away with themselves. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with trying to make those things happen, make those plays happen, especially if you... Oh, man. Especially if you find pickoffs. But just like that, Dre, he goes for that fight, and he wins it, and he brings it back to a 4v4, you know. Things like that are really... It shows the good fundamentals for Atlas. You lose map control towards mid, you lose a pick, maybe you try to go for a pick, maybe you try to get information towards showers. And it just goes to show that Atlas, they also have good fundamentals as a team.
We need to break that immediately. Uses the Cloudburst, but I believe the Cloudburst does get out-timed by the Pulse, and
30 seconds
3
left.
rotations. Is there going to be anybody onto the side to hold across? It's going to be Tim. Does he have the information there? He goes for the save boost! That is what you want to see! Still, though, site taken by AEG. This is not serious yet, but Atlas Tim is making it very difficult for AEG to play that postman. He still has the boost, but 3 bullets left in the chamber. Not going to work out, but the damage be done. They're coming out, and it's left to Tony Banks with a sliver of a hope and a dream with 45 HP onto the chamber. It's not going to work out anymore, as there's going to be Yoshi to come out 8-7 for Atlas.
Dude, that big brain play by Tim. Holy moly, that 200 IQ wall right there to just get over those Cypher traps, get those pickoffs, and create for himself an off angle that makes it awkward for anyone who's peeking onto him. That was so next level. I love it from Tim right now.
This is why Sage is good. You can play on top. And this is actually what happens when you saw before the big Sage nerfs, like the Sage versus Sage. When Sage walls off elbow, if you're also on a Sage, you can go up same level and go over the barrier, the barricade, which makes it so that you can do what Tim just did, and it is fan-freaking-tastic. He's not going to be able to pull that every single time, but when he does, it is going to be, again, very difficult for them to try to deal with. I like the wall immediately on Hookah because a lot of people will try to shoot that down, which gives a lot of information because of the audio cues that the weapons are popping off.
They did lose a lot of economy from that, and that's forced Clyde to just stay on that Bulldog and Dre is on... What? Okay, I thought that was Kaja for a second. I mean, Tim gets that kill instead. I thought it was Dre. And it's bringing us back right here. Dre keeps going, man, with these Blade Storms. He's finding one after the other. The Tim-Dre connection is real. holding strong. They even get the spike drop right now, and Dre upgrades. Currently, he picks up a Vandal. Six is there to punish Tim, who gets a little bit too close for comfort. And the round's not over just yet. They still have a little bit left in the tank. Does some nice damage right there, but Dre and Bry, they get the cleanup in the end. Well played. Dre gets an amazing set of kills right there. And Atlas yet again showing what they are made of here on the defensive side.
Oh my goodness. AEG, they knew that there is some slowing, some serious stopping power from Atlas, and they still try to go for the B side. Granted, it was on, I believe, a slightly weaker buy there, but they got obliterated. It is like going through a meat grinder, and this is why Sage is also kind of feared, again, is because she's the only agent that can slow multiple targets. I mean, before maybe the Cypher Cage, not as effective now, but honestly, when you're in that AoE range, that the crystals on the floor, it's like having glue stuck to you. Even though it's been nerfed significantly, it still has its effects. And you see Tim, who does understand the usage of that one. So yeah,
you know,
9-7.
Tim is single-handedly convincing me to go back to being a Sage main, because I switched over to Jet because I want to op. But Tim, I swear to God, look at this amazing stuff. Look at that play. He gets over the 200 IQ play right there. He knows the crosshair lineup. He knows the crosshair placement from that off angle like that. It's just so beautiful to watch. Man, Tim is just putting on a clinic on how to truly play Sage. Okay, his wall is a little bit too early right there by a second, but it's fine in the end.
There's still not a lot of like weaponry for Anbu here, so they're gonna hope to try to make something progress for Kaja. He does go for that. I love that play right there, but if he can find a pick, I would love that even more.
No.
But Clyde just backs away. There's no amount of flash, or there's no flash for Kaja to kind of support himself with as he tries to go for that entry frag. And this is just Atlas beckoning AEG to come into the back of sight and try to challenge these rifles, and it's not going to work because AEG, they're relegated to these weaker pistols.
And I like that. I like that Atlas is playing smart. You see, yet again, I go back to my point. Fundamentals. They know that they're an advantage. Look at how far they're playing. They're playing towards heaven. They're playing all the way back. They're playing double Sentinel in B because the fact that they know that they're prone to being rushed towards B. It's a really good read from Atlas, and it just goes to show that their strength is really not just their team play, but in reading their opponents, and they're doing such a great job at it. Now, pushing up close. Clyde getting another one. Spike going down, but the lineup is good. He finds 4, and Clyde D makes a beautiful anti-eco round. Perfectly done here by the side of Atlas. Clyde D, he hasn't been present, you know, in the first game that much, but what a way to come in and wake up and show everybody what a prime gaming flawless round that was from the side of Atlas.
Casters, panelists. I mean, I heard Swarley, he was really looking forward to seeing Atlas pop off. Honestly, for me, I was looking for this team to also pop off. Anbu was my realistic team here to get out. I
think we all agreed that, like, in our brains, we were like Anbu, but yeah, that was also an example of another great prime flawless game. But seriously though, none of us really expected Atlas to pop off this much, you know what I mean? Just to this effect.
Yeah, and again, being 2 months together, Visayan pride and everything of that. My goodness, Atlas, what are you doing? What are you doing to us? We love it.
It's the power of, I guess, chemistry and strong individual play right here.
True.
Now, going towards this B site, it's going to be a straight up hit right here as Kaja looking to open things up. Hunter's Fury will make the plant awkward, will buy a little bit of time. I don't imagine they can get off any damage though, but Kaja does get tagged down by it. They know his position now, and the spike will only get planted now here. 6 does get that kill onto Brian. Now they're going to be starting the retake here for Atlas, and they're doing such a fantastic job with it. Yoshi gets to the backup. Clyde goes down. Doesn't really matter in the end, but it's a beautiful flank here from Dre. He gets almost that last kill. It's not to be, but 6 is there to close out that round, and Dre is denied that clutch, and one more round goes towards the side of Anbu Elite Gaming.
So I believe we are just fixing everything that you're seeing right now on screen. So be patient a little bit, guys. If you're counting down right, it is 10-8 as of the moment. So there is still a time for Anbu Gaming to get back into this one. If I'm not mistaken, Atlas should be on a slightly weaker buy as of the moment, or are they going to be able to buy everyone up? It looks like they are, and they're going to put Tim on this operator. Where is he positioned? I want to see where this man peeks out, because it's going to be the double op. We don't see this every day in Valorant, but it's a nice little mix-up.
I love the double op and bind, actually, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because, like, combined with that beautiful, you know, that owl drone, it just completely secures, this showers area. And that Cypher camera gives Six a false sense of security to peek that angle. And that eventually gets the kill right there for them. Now, it's going to be a little bit more tough as they try to go towards A because they know that there is an op there. On the other side, there is still an op, however, in the form of Dre, but they're rotating now. It's a 3-man hold towards A. That's going to be the ultimate, the orbital strike coming in, but I don't think it's going to land onto anyone.
And they're just going to charge right in. Kaja's already in the forefront, but he can't push any further because there's no more smokes for him to try to play around with. So they're just going to have to be okay with this one. Rafi does get a kill perfectly coming outside of short. So now AEG do have some map control to work with. And what's perfect about this is that Tony Banks has his own ultimate. It's going to be risky. Rafi, finds Yoshi. Say goodnight, sweet prince. And here comes Five Peaks with a fury as they claim the post plant, and they will deny Atlas as much as Atlas tries to do. Where's the ace? That's going to be Rafi with the 5K.
Wow. And that ace right there was a result of the perfect usage of utility by Rafi. He knows there's multiple people in heaven. He heard the res come out. He knows there's at least 2. So he throws out the showstopper, tosses out the pain shell. It lands perfectly. He knows that there might be another one. He holds his angle perfectly, and that results in him getting 5 kills. A beautiful ace right there. Perfectly done by Rafi, showing us why Raze is so good on a map like Bind.
It just allows for such easy pickings, right? People might say that Raze is the no-brain agent because you have abilities that kill without you shooting, right? But it's these type of moments that really show to us how well utilized these people are, or how these people well utilize their agents, more specifically.
If you can really use Raze at a high level, I think there's very few agents, I think, that can match a high-level Raze. I'd say Sova. Sova, probably a high-level Sova. Nothing comes close to it. Just as we say that, look at this. Dre, he gets checked in the corner. And this desperate buy of a round here from Atlas is coming to a close, I think. I don't imagine there's going to be much in the tank for them because they only have 2 Sheriffs. And they do have a Vandal. I'm just going to make short work of Clyde. Tries to go for another tap here, and Yoshi up above.
One enemy remaining.
He goes down through that smoke, and that's pretty much the round done and dusted here, Asurai. It's looking like it's going to be another Prime Gaming flawless round here. Could be.
Tim, maybe he'll change the...
Nope.
No.
It's flawless.
Perfect. That's going to be, what, 10-10? And AEG, from what looked like to have been a grim set of rounds that Atlas were taking away one by one, they've clawed it back for that double-digit rounds, and 3 more to go. I believe, what's the verdict here? Is Atlas going to be able to buy? It's a little bit iffy to look at the creds just slightly, guys, because we're trying to figure out. Okay, so I think that they should be able to buy here. Dre will go for the operator, but he should save his ultimate for the next round if they don't make anything happen here, because that's something that they definitely do need. And Dre, you know that he does have that ability to pop off from time to time with the Blade Storm, and we are going to be going for that tactical pause because this is a sorely needed one.
Yeah, I think this actually is coming at just the right time here. They're losing a couple rounds in a row. They're going back and forth, and they're starting to lose that momentum. And this is the perfect time to call for it, just when they need a breather. And if I'm gonna guess what Atlas talk about when they're on their break, they're just chilling out. Probably it's like, yeah, let's kind of zone out, figure out what we need to do, and kind of just think a little bit, because it just seems that AEG, they're just outsmarting them for the meantime because Rafi, man, his presence is something that is so hard to account for. Look at him, 20 kills, 13 deaths, 1 assist. He's just been on form this whole game, not just with his kills, but with his utility and his information gathering. And it's one of the best raised plays I've seen all tournament.
True. We have yet to see Bren's Dispenser, who is actually the highest kills, I believe, or KDA during the group stage.
And he hasn't played Raze yet.
He has played Raze a lot.
Oh, yeah. He has, right.
Yeah.
Right.
When they were up against, what was it? Let me check my notes real quick.
I think their game was like 2 weeks ago, so I barely have any recollection of that. But you have a better memory than I do.
Yeah. I think that was up against Affinity Esports, where Bren put out the triple duelist.
Yeah. Well, it's not entirely uncommon because Bren can definitely make it work. And we've seen it on teams like TSM, so.
True.
And I think Cloud9 started that trend, if I'm not mistaken. But going back to the game, let's take a look at the current setup here as Wall will come out for Tim towards that mid area. Our map is really big, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that at least makes it easier for us to figure out where they are. When I play my games, I actually like my map being pretty big because, size matters. And my eyes don't have as well of a...
it's not about the size, it's how you use it, Asarai.
I utilize my map really well, okay? Especially with the the larger radius on it.
Fair enough. A good circumference is important, But let's figure out if the players can utilize their maps correctly. 10-10. It's the tie currently in this game on Bind. Could not be any closer at all. 4-man stack towards B. Oh, it's a beautiful read here by Dre. He gets a pick off. 3-man stack, excuse me, towards B. And they're going to be playing 2 showers. I really like this. So they're going to be leaving that area towards mid open because they can fight from showers anyway. I absolutely love it.
It splits the A in half, and because there's no Sage on the side of AEG, if they try to plant a spike,
wall.
Exactly, you can get wall bang or smoke bang. I don't know what the terminology, but you can get shot through the smoke. In any case, though, they still will be successful, and Dre almost catches his opponent, but Kaja is way too quick on that trigger. So sit down, Dre. Here comes the true Opper.
Smoke's now coming out to help them maybe, but the paranoia will actually be working against them, not in their favor right here. Trying to spray through that smoke. It's Tim who actually prevails here. Atlas. Oh, the collateral right there. Kaja finding his 3rd kill. Yoshi to bail them out. Will it be the case? They've half the spike right there though. And Yoshi, he gets a 3rd kill yet again. It's all this heroic, Herculean, beautiful efforts by the side of Atlas Esports to get them every single round. They had to fight tooth and nail to get these rounds. And it's always taken some spark of magic, but they get it in the end.
You'd think that collateral was enough to win the round for AEG, but definitely it wasn't. So I think one of the reasons how it looked fantastic, which is true, but if you look at it from a deeper perspective, is that Kaja still had to cuck his operator, which definitely kind of put him out in the open, so he had to back away, and his teammate had to force himself in, which allowed Atlas to actually position and claim short for themselves, and it turned it into a 2 versus 1, which Yoshi, as we know, can definitely win that one with his teammate defusing the spike. So it really was, I think, that nice little gap in between the double kill of Kaja that made it so that Atlas got that clutch. And I know that it's a little bit far-fetched, but I feel like that was one of the reasons how they were able to, claim the site back quite quickly.
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they didn't take bathrooms. Like we said, that setup. Because they were split, and every one of them was in this awkward position towards mid, Because they were all towards mid, it was easier for them to isolate. Despite the fact that they got that nice little collateral, they still were in an awkward position to deal with that spike. They didn't have enough map control. They didn't have lamps. They didn't really have anything but this small alleyway towards mid. But going back to the current round at the moment...
Yeah, and just to add to that, which team actually does that on defense on Bind is actually Bren. And they use, again, before Jesse Vash was on the Sage, where he, even on attack, they would split the map apart with the smoke, as well as maybe just putting everybody
30
on
seconds left.
shower rather than on short, because they want to split it in a what's the word? I'll just call it vertical rather than horizontal because it allows you to counter the opponents coming in and stopping them as well from, getting more comfortable on U-Haul as well as, the rest of short.
In terms of 14 seconds left though. Oh! Before we get to that, and yeah, that's the problem
10
with having a
seconds
Cypher still around until the last few seconds of the half right there. You're just gonna get mowed down.
One enemy
And this is a perfect hold. It's absolutely beautiful. This should be flawless right here. I don't imagine there's one kill right there. It's traded up really quickly. And that should definitely be the round here. Match point for Atlas is imminent. And that's just what happens when you have a Cypher still alive on the enemy team on the last seconds. You have to find that pick, otherwise you're walking into you're running out of time, you're getting panicked. It's just not a good picture. And going back to that previous round, if you talk about how you split that map, if you're the defensive side and you take bathrooms, you're leaving basically 1/4 of that site towards the enemy team, because you have bathrooms, you have your site of heaven, you have the area on CT spawn. At most the offensive side is probably going to be taking trying to get closer to heaven. At most they're probably going to take lamps. They very rarely push towards CT, so you will more often than not only have 1/4 as the offensive side. That's why it's so good to hold bathrooms.
Oh, they know that Tim's right there. Oh no, Tim!
Oh no.
The utilities! The one time that he played on top of the icebox, or sorry, the sage wall, the one time, and he got bombarded with the nades and the shock darts and the kumbayas. Oh my goodness. It's a 4v5 and a chance, a hope, a dream for AEG is still alive in this one. They get 2 more rounds. We all know it's the overtime, and with that 4 versus 5, it's definitely doable. But Dre onto the scene. Let's see if he can shut one down.
That's... Ooh! Spots out the head, just the shoulder. Unable to make the connection that he needs. It's 12-10 right now. More smokes being deployed. That's the brimstone being used to full. And they're waiting for it right now. They're waiting for somebody to boost up above it, but no one's coming. Tim is down for the count. Not gonna be fooled twice here. Tony Banks gonna be able to get that spike down. Hookah presence is still under their control, though. It's 3 players coming from CTU Hall area, and that's even the from the shadows coming out right there for them too. Kaja gonna line up 1. 6 is there for the refrag onto Yoshi.
I know exactly.
And this is a very good chance to take us to 12-11 right now. Rafi here. Dre in the corner. One last player left, and that's going to be Dre. He's going to be dropping very, very low. He manages to hit a nice shot right there. No more bullets. Has to reload. Brings out the classic. Looks for a Vandal. He's going to be pushing closer onto the site. Destroys the Cypher wall. Cypher camera, but... he doesn't have any information, and time is ticking away. This should be a round for AEG right now. He goes for the blind spray. He runs out of time. He holds on to 1, and 1 goes down with him. And at the end, it's still another round here for Anbu Elite Gaming. What a good round from them.
Such a perfect lockdown. I will just say that Clyde's from the shadows might have been a bit too with his team rather than playing the flank. He might have wanted to go for that B-long area.
Or hookah even.
Hookah, yeah, to kind of, have multiple angles of attack. But everybody from AEG was just looking at both exit of elbow as well as a spawn, defender spawn. So it very much, made it easier for them to play that post plant. And honestly, I do like the idea that, there's strength in numbers, but in that situation, there's too much numbers, and that actually lowers your strength. So you got to be careful. And now, Anbu Elite Gaming, they're looking for the shower control, and 1 got marked. Right away.
They actually spot 2 right there, playing up close. And oh my god, Tony Banks.
Dance! Dance, you fool! And he does.
And he does. He actually gets away. This is a really good chance here for AEG to actually take us into overtime. This almost happened in the previous game when we also saw a 12-11 scoreline. My god, what is this game? It's so, we might actually go into overtime yet again here. Dre looking for that aggressive angle now. And this is what I like about how Dre opts. He's not afraid to go for those challenges here.
It's, I think people in the chat might have been calling him kind of like the Wardell playstyle, where he likes to go for these angles. Could have gotten the collateral, but at least he got the 1. Is there going to be another? Can he go for the flick? It's not going to happen. Kaja shuts him down. Rafa uses the ultimate to claim the site, and this will be AEG taking the A. 30 seconds left, but they have not yet planted down the spike. It's still
30 seconds left.
But they are clearing it, and this is leaving Atlas to try to cleared him out as well, and it's working. Okay, Atlas, Yoshi, and Bri with the connections. But let's see if this spike can make something happen. He runs away! Shock dart! My god, Yoshi! He just hits those! He gets another one! And the 2 versus 1! Shido! He's gonna be coming for the big
10
flanks.
seconds left.
He has to go 10 seconds on the clock. No way! Shido, what are you doing? Yoshi comes from the flank behind. He doesn't find him, but that is going to be Yoshi with the 3K freaking clutch, and that is gonna be 13-11. Atlas get the 2-0
Again!
again.
It's Yoshi again!
Defenders win.
What?
What are we seeing?
I need to remove my